All right. As Mr. Thompson was saying, my name is Art Johnson, but the students that I worked with for years called me Dr. J. I was a high school principal for 20 years, and now I'm superintendent, which means that I work with all of the students, 170,000, and all of the principals, 170 in Palm Beach County. And we're here this morning to talk about a very important issue, and that is your cyber safety. Now, who can tell me, by show of hands, what the word cyber means? Yes, sir. Use of the internet, absolutely. Does anyone else want to offer any other suggestions? Yes? Virtual, absolutely. And one more. Pertaining to electronics. So when we say cyberspace, cyberbullying, we're talking about your ability as young people to communicate with others. Now, how many of you have a cell phone? Raise of hands. Wow. When I was in school, nobody had a cell phone. How many of you have a camera cell phone? How many of you have a computer? How many of you have talked to a friend on a chat room? How many of you have talked to someone that you've never met before? Raise your hands high. How many of you have talked to somebody that you thought, I'm not sure if I need to be talking to this person? Okay? By show of hands, tell me what you did. Yeah? Anyone else? Yes? I'm sorry? You just turned it off? Delete? Okay. Well, we're here this morning to give you as much education about this whole business of cyberspace, cyber safety, cyberbullying, and most importantly, cyber predators. How many of you have seen some of the horrible things that have happened to students here in Palm Beach County from adults in Palm Beach County in the newspaper? Sure you have, because there's way, way too much of that going on. Now, our speaker this morning is Bill McCollum. He is the Attorney General for the state of Florida. Now, in the state of Florida, we have a government in which the highest ranking official, the administrator in the state of Florida, is the what? The governor. The governor. The governor is the chief administrative officer. And then we have a legislature that provides us the ability to make laws, et cetera. And then we have the courts. We have a Supreme Court and so on. But the governor has an attorney general, and the attorney general is an individual who has a law degree, and he takes care of all of the legal issues in the state of Florida. And he is most concerned about young people. Now, our Attorney General has served a tremendous amount of different ways to help the people of Florida. For one thing, he is a product of the state of Florida. He went to a small town that I'm familiar with named Brooksville, which is up in the center part of the state. For all of you Gator fans, he went to the University of Florida. And then if you understand and appreciate what's going on in the world right now, he served in the United States Navy. So he was a patriot. He was somebody that represented our country to make sure that we are kept safe. And while he was in there, he was involved in what is called the JAG program. Now, the JAG program is the judiciary of the military, because sometimes, unfortunately, when people are in the military, they do things for which they have to go to court. And then they have a system, a JAG program, to be able to handle that. When he came back, he got involved in politics, and he became part of the United States Congress. Now, the legislature, the Florida legislature, is in what city? Tallahassee. But the United States Congress is in what place? Washington. very good joint response. And Bill McCollum served in Washington for 20 years. Long time, long time. Then he came back and he decided that he was going to run for Attorney General, and he became the Attorney General of Florida. Now, I want you to understand that the thing that I know about Mr. McCollum that I know he's probably not aware I'm going to say this, is that he is a very, very tough guy. He's a gentleman. He's a daddy. He's a husband. And he's a good public official. But he is a tough guy. And he doesn't lose. So when he gets his teeth into something, he intends to make it happen. And what he is intending to do here is not only help educate you about cyber safety, but he's going to prosecute and create the necessary public policies to keep all students safe. So I want you to give a really big, warm Boca Middle School welcome to our guest, Attorney General Bill McCollum.
Thank you. That was a wonderful introduction. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll tell you, that's about the best introduction a fellow could ever get, Dr. Johnson. I really appreciate that, and I think you warmed up this crowd exactly right. I want to thank the Mayor, Mayor Abrams, for being out here today, and I want to thank Principal Jack Thompson, your principal, for letting us come here. I also want to thank your school resource officers for what they do. We really appreciate it. I think that if you want to give anybody else a round of applause today, it ought to be those who come from law enforcement into our schools. We really appreciate that. Well, I'm going to talk to you today about what we just heard, and I'm going to take this jacket off. I know Dr. J didn't, but I'm going to get all warmed up and do that, and I'm going to take this microphone off here, too, if it'll come off. I don't know if it will or not. Will it come off? Yes. All right, I'll just pull it. There we go. It's off now. We're going to talk today about a big problem in the whole United States. It isn't just here. And I'm going to move this over a little bit. Whoops. Make a little noise here for the TV camera because I don't want it to blow the screen and my chance to look at it. There are 77 million children in the United States that are on the internet every day. And of those 77 million, those ages 10 to 17, and you all fit in that group, 1 out of every 7 will be solicited for sex. In Florida, we think it's closer to 1 out of every 5. And that's really remarkable. That means somebody in this room, because we've got a couple hundred kids here, and certainly in the whole school system, more than one somebody's, a bunch of somebody's have probably already been solicited for sex. And that's kind of a scary thing for parents. It should be scary for you. At the same time, the internet's a wonderful place to be. It's an educational place. It's a fun place to go for games. Nobody wants to keep you off that. I saw you all raise your hands. Everybody's got a computer. You got your cell phones. You got a wonderful opportunity to do things that Dr. J and I could never have done when we were growing up as kids. But it's important. I've got 3 boys and 2 grandsons, and I'm real concerned myself personally about all of this. So we're going to see some things today. I'm going to show you a couple of clips. We're going to darken the room a bit, and hopefully the television can pick up whatever we do here with that. But we want you to be able to see this, and I hope they can man the light switches here. I want to run this first video clip for you, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit, okay? Let's see if we can't go ahead with this first clip.